Marissa Holloway, 47, assumed she could get a black man ousted from first class with a few sharp words, until he coolly pulled out an FBI badge from his coat. She strutted through Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, her sleek luggage rolling behind her. This Dallas-to-D.C. route was routine for her, always in first class, her only way to fly. The perks were familiar: early boarding, free wine, the quiet hum of elite travelers. She craved that luxury, that sense of being above the rest. Everything about the flight felt like clockwork to Marissa: the pampered treatment, the polished service. So when she reached her row and spotted a black man in a tailored gray suit settled in next to her seat, she froze mid-step. He exuded calm authority, his tablet glowing as he scrolled through something serious. Marissa's jaw tightened. She dropped her expensive bag with a thud and slid into her seat, irritation simmering. First class wasn't meant to feel this way. His name was Caleb Reed. Caleb, 38, barely glanced her way, engrossed in his work, fingers dancing over the tablet. The screen's light caught his features, strong, composed, like he owned the space. Marissa wasn't buying it. She huffed, shifting loudly, her handbag brushing his armrest. No response. She straightened, scanning for a flight attendant to fix this error. Then she leaned closer, voice dripping with forced civility. "Excuse me," she said. "Are you certain this is your seat?" Caleb's reply was curt. "Yes." Nothing more. Marissa's throat cleared louder, her eyes darting around. She caught the attention of Lauren Miles, a flight attendant in her late 20s, helping passengers nearby. Marissa raised a hand, beckoning her over. Caleb let out a faint sigh, barely audible, but there. Lauren approached, her smile practiced and bright. "Is something wrong, ma'am?" Marissa chuckled thinly, as if amused. "I think there's a mix-up. This gentleman might be in the wrong spot." Caleb paused his work, lifting his gaze, his face a mask of calm. Lauren checked her tablet, scanning the manifest with quick fingers. "Actually, Mr. Reed is in his assigned seat, 2B, she said smoothly. "Your ticket's for 2A, ma'am." Marissa blinked, gripping her armrest tighter. "That's strange," she said, forcing another laugh. "Are you sure?" "I just assumed." Lauren's smile held firm, sensing the undertone. "I'm certain, ma'am. It all checks out." Marissa's expression flickered, a crack in her poised facade, before she plastered on a stiff smile. "Well, I guess errors happen." Caleb resumed his work, unfazed, as Lauren lingered a moment, feeling the tension. She nodded at him and stepped away. Marissa simmered, fingers tapping her knee, breaths short. He wasn't reacting, wasn't justifying his presence, ignoring her entirely. That stung more. She wasn't one to stew quietly. Her mind churned. This wasn't right. First class was her domain, not his. She wouldn't let it slide. The slight felt personal now, a challenge she couldn't ignore. She braced herself to push harder. Marissa sat rigid, arms crossed, her thoughts racing. She'd flown first class for years, decades even, and never faced this. Caleb wasn't disruptive, but that didn't matter. He didn't fit her vision of this space. Her pulse quickened, frustration boiling. She couldn't just sit there. She jabbed the call button. A soft ding echoed above. Lauren reappeared, her smile still polite. Marissa kept her voice low, measured. "I'd like a different seat." Lauren blinked. "Are you uncomfortable, ma'am? Is it the seat itself?" Marissa paused, choosing her words. She couldn't say it outright. Instead, she tilted her head toward Caleb, voice dropping. "I just don't feel at ease here." Lauren's smile wavered slightly. Caleb stopped typing, listening now, his hands still. "I'm sorry you feel that way," Lauren said. "If there's a problem with the seat—" "It's not the seat," Marissa cut in, exhaling sharply. "I'd prefer to sit somewhere else." Lauren glanced at Caleb, who stayed silent, his jaw set, waiting. "Let me see if there's an open seat," Lauren said, tapping her tablet. "One moment." Marissa leaned back, lips tight, convinced she'd get her way. Caleb didn't budge, didn't argue, just watched. That silence fueled her anger. A man up front glanced back, earbuds in, eavesdropping. Lauren's fingers moved fast. "We're fully booked in first class, ma'am," she said, apologetic. "There might be something in economy." Marissa's face burned. "Economy? Unthinkable." "That won't do," she snapped, her voice catching. Lauren's smile held steady. "Then I hope you're okay staying here." Marissa forced a brittle grin. "Guess I'm stuck." Lauren nodded and walked off. Marissa's ears rang, her mind spinning. Caleb resumed typing, acting like she wasn't there. That dismissal, it gnawed at her. She balled her fists, resolve hardening. This wasn't over. She wouldn't let him win by default. The cabin felt smaller now, the air thicker. She pressed the call button again, determined to escalate things further. Lauren hesitated this time, her steps slower as she returned. "Ma'am." Marissa sat taller, voice firm. "I need to speak to someone higher up." Lauren's face stayed neutral. "I'm the lead attendant. How can I assist?" Marissa's tone sharpened. "The head crew or the pilot?" Whispers rippled through the cabin, a soft laugh escaped someone. Lauren's patience thinned. "The pilot's busy with takeoff, ma'am. I can help." Marissa leaned closer, voice low. "I don't feel safe." That shifted everything instantly. Lauren's smile vanished, her stance stiffening. Caleb paused again, hands hovering. "Can you explain, ma'am?" Lauren asked, cautious now. Marissa clasped her hands, tilting her head. "I just don't feel comfortable." She paused, letting the implication hang. A guy across the aisle muttered, "Here it comes," under his breath. Caleb shut his tablet, turning to her fully. His gaze pierced, unyielding. Marissa felt a twinge of doubt, but pressed on. "It'd be better if someone else sat here," she added, voice rising slightly. The cabin hushed, her words sinking in. "I don't feel safe," carried weight, calculated, loaded. Lauren stood still, processing. Caleb rested his hands on his tablet, expression blank, but eyes sharp. "Are you saying you feel threatened?" Lauren asked, deliberate. Marissa shrugged faintly. "I'm not saying that. Just uneasy." A woman 2 rows back smirked, phone out, recording discreetly. Passengers murmured, heads turning. Marissa sensed the shift, attention growing, but not in her favor. She doubled down, feigning calm. "It's a simple ask," Marissa said, voice steady. "If I'm not comfortable, shouldn't I switch seats?" Lauren's jaw tightened. "There are no open first-class seats, ma'am." Marissa pressed her lips thin. "What about coach?" Lauren paused, then said, "There are a couple in economy." Marissa straightened. "Great, he can take one." Gasps and murmurs spread. Caleb's fingers tapped his tablet once, then stilled. He wasn't rattled, just waiting. Lauren blinked, stunned, replaying Marissa's words in her head, incredulous. "Ma'am," Lauren said, voice low, firm, "are you asking me to move Mr. Reed to economy because you don't want him here?" Marissa nodded sharply. "Yes." Lauren inhaled deeply. "That's not happening." Marissa's eyes flashed. "What?" Lauren stood firm. "Mr. Reed has a first-class ticket, like you. He stays." Passengers stared openly now, some whispering, some shaking their heads. A guy up front chuckled. Marissa's stomach twisted. This wasn't going her way, and she hated it fiercely. "This is absurd," Marissa hissed, cheeks flushing. "I'm just asking for basic courtesy." Lauren didn't flinch. "You're asking me to displace a passenger from his rightful seat for no reason. That's not courtesy, it's unfair." Silence hit hard. Someone whistled low. Caleb stayed quiet, observing. Marissa's pulse raced. She was losing grip fast. "We're taxiing soon," Lauren added, stern. "Stay seated and follow instructions, or you'll need to leave the plane." Marissa's breath caught. "Leave? Her?" The tables had turned brutally. Marissa's mind reeled. She opened her mouth to protest, but Lauren's stare shut her down. Passengers watched, some amused, some appalled. A woman recording smirked, phone still up. Marissa's humiliation simmered, raw and biting. She'd misjudged everything. Then Caleb moved. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a leather wallet, and flipped it open. A gold FBI badge shone bright under the lights. The cabin froze. Gasps broke the silence, followed by a few laughs. Marissa went stiff, her world tilting. The badge gleamed, undeniable. Marissa's throat closed up. Caleb's voice cut through, calm and steady. "Ma'am, want to file a complaint? I can take it now." Her breath hitched, words failing her. He didn't blink, just held her gaze, badge in hand. Passengers gawked, some grinning, others stunned. The woman with the phone zoomed in, capturing it all. Marissa's face burned, her plan crumbling. She'd picked the wrong fight, and now everyone knew it. The air crackled with her defeat. Caleb waited, unflinching, his badge a silent hammer. Marissa's hands shook in her lap. She couldn't speak, couldn't think. "Well," he pressed, voice even. She felt the weight of every stare, judging, mocking. A man nearby chuckled. "Oh, she's done." Lauren stood back, arms crossed, watching it unfold. Marissa's chest tightened. She'd wanted control, but now she was the spectacle. The cabin buzzed with whispers, her dignity slipping away. She was cornered, and Caleb knew it. Marissa's pulse hammered, her pride shredded. She'd misread him. His silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. The FBI badge flipped shut, tucked away, but its impact lingered. Passengers leaned in, savoring the twist. "Karma's quick today," someone muttered. Marissa wanted to vanish, but there was no escape. Caleb reopened his tablet, resuming work like nothing happened. For him, it was routine. For her, it was a reckoning. She'd pushed too far, and now she'd pay. The cabin settled, but Marissa's mind raced. She stared ahead, cheeks hot, replaying every misstep. Caleb typed calmly beside her, untouchable. Lauren lingered nearby, her tone firm. "Ma'am, we're about to take off. No more disruptions, or you're off." Marissa nodded faintly, swallowing her rage. A few clapped, softly, mockingly. Her stomach churned. She'd lost, publicly, spectacularly. The badge had sealed it. She wasn't just humbled, she was exposed, and the fallout was only beginning. Marissa slumped slightly, defeat sinking in. Caleb's presence loomed, a quiet rebuke. The plane taxied, engines humming, but she'd barely noticed. Passengers whispered, some grinning openly now. Lauren's warning echoed, "Stay quiet or leave." Marissa chose silence, but her thoughts screamed. She'd tried to wield power and failed, miserably. Caleb's badge wasn't just a credential, it was her undoing. The cabin lights dimmed, takeoff near, but for Marissa, the real descent had already started. She wasn't ready for what came next. Marissa's body locked up, her breath shallow as Caleb's FBI badge glinted in the cabin's glow. The emblem was stark, a symbol that flipped the script. Passengers chuckled, some openly, some under their breath. A girl filming, 22-year-old Tara Evans, zoomed in tight on Marissa's frozen face. Caleb's voice stayed level, almost bored. "Ma'am, want to lodge a formal complaint?" "I'm all ears." Marissa's tongue stuck, she couldn't respond. The air thickened, her misstep now a public wound, bleeding fast. That badge wasn't just proof, it was a guillotine. Caleb held her stare, unblinking, his calm slicing deeper than any shout. Passengers gaped, some smirking, others stunned into silence. Marissa's neck burned, her mind clawing for an exit. This wasn't how it played out in her head. She'd cast him as the intruder, but now she was the fool. "Well," he pressed, voice smooth, lethal. She stammered. Aye, nothing coherent came. Tara's phone stayed steady, catching every flinch, every crack. Caleb's tone sharpened, polite but piercing. "You said you felt unsafe. That's a big claim on a federal flight. If I've done something, say it, I'll document it." Marissa's stomach plummeted. The cabin tilted, eyes boring into her. A guy 2 rows up snorted, "She's toast." Tara's lens lingered, relentless. Lauren stood back, her face blank but expectant. Marissa's hands quivered. She couldn't admit it was a lie she'd unravel. But pushing further? Against him? That was a cliff she couldn't jump. Her breath raced, shallow and sharp. Moments ago, she'd owned the narrative. Discomfort was her shield, her right. Now it was a noose. Caleb waited, badge still out, his silence louder than her words. "This is gold," a woman muttered, grinning. Marissa's world shrank, the cabin a jury box. She'd gambled on privilege and lost. Finally, she shook her head, a faint jerk. "No," she rasped, voice breaking. "No complaint." Caleb nodded once, like he'd seen it coming, and snapped the badge shut. He slipped it back into his jacket, flipped his tablet open, and resumed typing, business as usual. For Marissa, the nightmare ignited. Soft claps rippled through the seats, a slow taunt. A man across the aisle smirked, flipping his magazine. Tara tapped her screen, smirking wider. Marissa's chest pounded, her pride torched. She'd wanted him gone, now she was the one erased. Eyes darted her way, no sympathy, just judgment. She'd lit the match, and the fire was hers to burn in. Marissa stared ahead, rigid, her face a furnace. The badge's afterimage seared her mind. She'd challenged a federal agent and lost hard. Caleb worked on, oblivious or uncaring. Passengers settled back, but their whispers lingered, sharp as knives. Tara stopped filming but kept her phone angled, ready. Marissa's hands clenched, nails digging in. She'd humiliated herself, and it was recorded forever. Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream, to rewind, but the damage was done. The flight hadn't even lifted off yet. The plane jolted slightly, taxiing now, but Marissa barely registered it. Caleb's indifference was a slap. She didn't exist to him. Around her, the cabin buzzed with quiet glee. A woman nudged her partner, nodding her way. Lauren approached again, voice low, firm. "Ma'am, I need to know you'll stay calm. No more scenes." Marissa stiffened, humiliation spiking. Everyone listened, pretending not to. She forced a nod, lips tight. "I'm fine," she muttered, but her voice shook, betraying her. Lauren's eyes lingered, assessing, then she stepped back. Marissa's fingers twitched, her pulse a drumbeat. She'd been the hunter, now she was prey. Tara smirked at her phone, tapping fast, uploading no doubt. Marissa's stomach nodded. She'd misfired spectacularly, and the fallout was live. No one met her gaze, no allies, no rescue. Even Lauren's patience had cooled. She swallowed hard, the truth sinking in. This wasn't just embarrassment. It was a reckoning, and it was spreading beyond the plane. The engines hummed louder, but Marissa's ears rang with her own dread. Caleb typed steadily, a wall of calm beside her chaos. Passengers moved on, some chuckling, some ignoring her, but Tara's phone stayed poised, a silent threat. Lauren and the crew shifted subtly, their warmth gone. Marissa felt the shift, the isolation. She'd torched her own pedestal, and the ashes were public. Her breath hitched. This wasn't a hiccup she could laugh off. It was a scar, permanent and viral. Her mind spun, grasping at straws. She'd built her life on status, on being untouchable. Now that was ash. She'd tried to eject an FBI agent, on video. The weight crushed her chest. Her mouth dried, palms slick. Tara's fingers danced over her screen, and Marissa knew, it was out there. Lauren's voice cut through again, clipped. "Ma'am, last chance, are you good to fly?" Marissa nodded fast, desperate to avoid more shame. "Yes," she croaked, but her heart screamed otherwise. Lauren walked off, leaving Marissa to stew. The plane climbed, but she felt it dropping, her world, her control. Passengers eavesdropped shamelessly, their murmurs a dull roar. She'd wanted deference, not this spotlight. Caleb's badge had flipped the game, and she'd lost the board. Tara grinned at her phone, and Marissa's gut twisted. She'd seen that look, kids sharing gossip, fast and ruthless. Her hands shook. This wasn't staying quiet. It was already alive, spreading, and she couldn't stop it. A chime pinged overhead. Marissa flinched. Tara's smirk grew as she tapped her screen twice. Marissa stole a glance, her blood iced over. The video was up, captioned, "Entitled lady tries to boot black guy from first class. Turns out he's FBI." Her breath stopped. It was real, online, unstoppable. She turned away, heart slamming, but the damage pulsed in her hands. She'd wanted him erased, now she was the story. The cabin faded, her focus locked on that screen's glow. The plane leveled off, but Marissa's spiral deepened. Her phone buzzed once, twice, 3 times. She fumbled it out, dread coiling tight. Texts flooded in. "Marissa, is this you? Saw a vid, what's going on? Please say this isn't real." Her pulse roared. She swiped to Twitter, her name trended, the video at 25,000 views in minutes. Comments stung, karma's brutal. "She's done." Her vision blurred. This wasn't a storm, it was a wildfire, and she was the fuel. Marissa's hands went cold, gripping her phone. The view count climbed, 40,000, 60,000, racing past reason. She refreshed, helpless, as it hit 80,000. Comments piled up, privilege in freefall. FBI twist is chef's kiss. Her chest squeezed, she couldn't breathe. Family, friends, strangers, all messaging, judging. She'd wanted control, not this chaos. Tara smirked across the aisle, oblivious or gleeful. Marissa's world wasn't just cracking, it was shattering, piece by public piece, and she couldn't claw it back. Her knuckles whitened around the phone, the cabin a blur. Views ticked to 100,000, then 150,000, unstoppable. She thought she'd win this? Roast her. Name her. The words clawed at her. She blinked fast, panic rising. This wasn't fading, it was exploding. She glanced around, seeking an out, but no one cared. Caleb typed on, untouched. Her phone buzzed again, her cousin. She declined, trembling. The plane soared, but she was grounded, sinking in a mess of her own making. Marissa's breath rasped, her mind a tornado. The video hit 200,000 views, comments a flood. Entitlement meets reality. FBI guy's my hero. She refreshed, 300,000. Her name trended higher. She wanted to scream, to vanish, but she was trapped midair. An apology? Too late. Ignore it? Impossible. Her phone vibrated, her niece, then a colleague. She silenced it, hands shaking. The pilot's voice crackled. Descending into D.C., 5:43 p.m. Her stomach dropped. Landing meant facing this, and she wasn't ready. The plane dipped, but Marissa's dread soared. 500,000 views now. She couldn't look away. She's toast. Internet's eating this up. Her chest tightened. Her legacy was rubble. She shoved her phone into her bag, willing it gone, but the buzz persisted. Caleb stayed calm, oblivious to her unraveling. Tara pocketed her phone, satisfied. Marissa's mind raced. She could spin this, maybe. But deep down, she knew. The video owned her now. Landing loomed, and with it, a storm she couldn't dodge. Her hands shook as she clutched her bag. The plane neared D.C., but Marissa's focus was the chaos waiting below. 700,000 views, insane, relentless. She'd built a life on polish, on power, and it was ashen hours. She forced calm, plotting damage control, denial, deflection, anything. But the truth gnawed. She'd lit this fuse. The intercom buzzed, seatbelts on, preparing to land. Her heart thudded. She wasn't escaping this, not in the air, not on the ground. Marissa's fingers dug into her armrest, the descent jolting her. The video hit 900,000 views, her name a hashtag, a punchline. She stared ahead, breath short, imagining the airport. Reporters? Crowds? She couldn't face it. Her phone buzzed again, her sister-in-law. She declined, sweating. Caleb packed his tablet, serene as ever. She envied him, hated him. The wheels touched down, reality loomed. She'd lost control mid-flight, and now the world waited to pounce. This wasn't over, it was starting. Marissa bolted upright as the doors opened, desperate to flee. Passengers smirked, their glances cutting. She grabbed her bag and rushed off, heels clicking fast. At Reagan National, her pulse spiked. Reporters lingered near baggage claim. A woman in a red coat, mic in hand, read from her phone, a camera rolling. Marissa's knees weakened. 1 million views? Already? She ducked her head, praying they wouldn't spot her. But the woman's eyes locked on, recognition flashed. Marissa turned, panic surging. The reporter's voice carried. A viral clip shows a woman trying to remove an FBI agent from first class, claiming unease. It's at 1.2 million views. Marissa stopped breathing. Her name was out there, her face plastered online. The woman shouted, "There she is." Marissa spun, adrenaline spiking. She couldn't be caught, not like this. She shoved through travelers, chest heaving, aiming for the exit. Her phone buzzed wildly, texts, calls, doom. The storm had landed with her. Marissa's heels pounded the tile as she fled Reagan National's chaos, her breath ragged. Her phone vibrated nonstop, texts, alerts, a relentless barrage. She couldn't outpace it. A cab pulled up, she lunged inside, barking, "Drive now." The driver, a grizzled man in his 50s, arched a brow but hit the gas. Reporters' shouts faded behind her. "Ms. Holloway, comment on the video?" Her name was out, her shame public. 1.5 million views pulsed in her mind, a living nightmare. Marissa pressed her palms to her temples, eyes shut tight. The cab rolled through D.C., but she was trapped in her head. Her phone buzzed again, an unknown number. She stared, heart racing, then swiped to answer. "Hello?" A pause, then a crisp voice. "Ms. Holloway, this is Victor Grant, president of the Ellison Fund." Her gut sank. She'd sat on their board for a decade, progressive, prestigious. "I assume you've seen it," he said cold. She knew what was coming, and it stung. "Victor, Marissa started, voice trembling. "We need you to resign," he cut in, flat and final. Her breath caught. The Ellison Fund thrived on ethics, inclusion. Her stunt was poison. "It's out of context," she pleaded, grasping. "The board's unanimous," he replied. "Statements out tomorrow. Your letters due by then." A click, he was gone. Her phone slipped to her lap. Career, status, gone in a flash. The video wasn't just viral. It was her undoing, and no one cared for her side. Marissa stared blankly, the cabs hum a distant drone. Her life, polished, curated, lay in ruins. 2 million views now, she guessed, not daring to check. She'd sparked this fire, fanned it with arrogance, and now it consumed her. The driver glanced back, silent. She wanted to explain, to fight, but the world had judged. Her phone buzzed, friends, family all asking. She ignored them. Caleb, untouched, was probably debriefing somewhere, her chaos a footnote. For her, it was everything. The cab slowed near her hotel, but Marissa barely moved. Her hands shook, cold and clammy. The video's reach was endless. Comments, shares, a tidal wave she couldn't stem. She'd built her identity on respect, control. Now she was a punchline, a cautionary tale. Resignation loomed, public disgrace certain. Caleb's life rolled on, unscathed, another day at the office. For Marissa, this Tuesday had raised her world. The driver coughed. "We're here." She nodded, hollow, stepping into her reckoning. Marissa Holloway's first-class fiasco at 30,000 feet spiraled into a viral inferno, her smug certainty torched by Caleb Reed's FBI badge in a heartbeat. She'd strutted onto that Dallas-to-D.C flight, her sleek luggage a badge of privilege, expecting champagne and deference, until Caleb's quiet authority unraveled her. With a few sharp words, she tried to eject him, her irritation flaring like a struck match. But when his gold emblem flashed, the cabin erupted, gasps, chuckles, and Tara's phone zooming in as Marissa's world imploded. By landing, 2 million views branded her a pariah, her name trending from Reagan National to every screen in America. Her 47-year-old pride, built over decades, crumbled faster than a house of cards in a Texas storm. 2 brutal lessons emerged from the wreckage. First, never judge a book by its cover, or a seatmate by his skin. Marissa pegged Caleb, 38, as an outsider in her elite bubble, blind to his badge and backbone. Her snap judgment didn't just misfire, it backfired, leaving her exposed on a 5-inch screen for millions to roast. Second, power isn't a birthright, it's a tightrope. She wielded entitlement like a sledgehammer, demanding Lauren move Caleb 200 feet back to economy, only to plummet when her leverage vanished. The Ellison Fund axed her in a 60-second call, her reputation sinking faster than a stone in the Potomac. As Caleb typed on, and scathed, Marissa faced a D.C. dusk with reporters swarming like vultures. In mere hours, her 10-mile-high arrogance crashed into a lesson etched in digital stone. Underestimating others and overplaying your hand can bury you, publicly, permanently, and without mercy. Have you ever misjudged someone and paid the price, or seen entitlement crash and burn like Marissa's mile-high meltdown? Share your wildest stories below. Hit like if instant karma gets you every time, comment your take, and subscribe for more gripping real-life lessons. My channel dives deep into human twists like this. Don't miss out on the next viral reckoning.